Hey everyone, I'm Ian Miller,
I'm Andrew Smith.
and welcome to an exciting Be a Talk with Nolan Smith. We are back up on YouTube. We took a break for a little bit, obviously, because we had problems with our original recording system,
Mm-hmm.
but we have a new one now. But we did a couple of live episodes on Instagram. We're going to occasionally still do the live episodes, but we figured we want to get back into the groove of doing a show on YouTube.
Yeah, we want to get back into putting it on our channel and everything, since we haven't posted it on our channel in a while. For everyone who tuned in to the live, we thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
No, thank you for all the comments, especially last week. Last week was fun.
Yes, it was.
Last week was fun.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was a fun episode.
Hopefully you guys tuned into that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. But yeah, we're back on here. So like my partner said, we'll be back on live a couple times here and there. But we wanted to get back to on our YouTube channel so you can all enjoy and see it. So
Yeah. Okay, we actually have a couple of big topics to talk about tonight. It's going to be pretty much the same theme, but first, let's get to the sports because we got a lot of bigger things happening in sports right now. So, Smith, take it away.
thank you. Yes, there has been a lot of sports news going on in the last few days, last week. So let's get to the major one that happened on Monday night, which was for all Jet fans out there. It was the Aaron Rodgers news that unfortunately he will not be back this season because he tore his Achilles. Um, Personally for me, I mean, I'm not a Jet fan, but I like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's a great quarterback.
Yeah.
I was happy for Jet fans that when they got him in the offseason. But to have an injury like that, to only play 75 seconds in the game, it's very shocking news. It's very upsetting. Um, for one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Especially for Jet fans. I feel for the Jet fans. You've got this one of the best, like I said, one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. You got him in the offseason to be your quarterback, and then this happens. I mean, it's not what you want to see, not what you want to hear. I saw the news and all the videos of Jet fans, like they were so, they were sick to their stomach. They were, and a lot of people, in the Jets coaches and the Jets front office and everything, they couldn't sleep after what happened with this news because, they were hoping that, it wasn't that bad and Rodgers could come back. But unfortunately that did not happen. And he, it's a very bad injury to come back from, this season. So, I mean, on the bright side, they won that game in overtime, but, in the bigger picture, to get a big quarterback like that, to miss the whole entire season, it's upsetting. It's not what we want to see for this whole season. I know that they were hoping, Aaron Rodgers could turn their season around. But, unfortunately that's not going to be the case this season. So, hopefully, for the Jet fans, hopefully they go out there and get someone else, someone good for a quarterback, or they'll just stick with Zach Wilson as quarterback. There's a lot of options for them to go to. So I'm very curious to see how that fares out. So I'll be keeping up on all that news, and then when we hopefully in next week's episode, if they find someone, I'm sure all of you will see it, but I will keep you updated. We will keep you updated on that for all the Jets fans and football fans out there. So
Yeah, and we wish Rogers a speedy recovery.
yes, we do. He had a post that was sent out today. That and probably when we post this, it's going to be yesterday, um, but he did, or whenever the day is, but he did send a post out there saying, wishing all the fans, thank you to the fans. He's very sad and heartbroken, obviously, but he just wanted to thank the fans and everybody, and he's hoping for a speedy recovery, and hoping he can come back to the game soon. So
Yeah,
it'll be if none of you saw it, probably all of you saw it, but it is on his Instagram, so check that out. But yeah, so just very upsetting news for the Jet fans, and for the Jets in general on Monday night. So
yeah.
hopefully something good happens in the next week or two, or sooner. So we will see on that. Um, in other news, we'll only talk briefly about this because there's not a lot to talk about, but with the Giants, very, very upsetting game for the Giants. Not much to really say on it. The Giants just did not come out and play at all. I mean, they tried. It was very rainy. It was a rainy game. I was at that game, and for me as a Giant fan to see that, at the game, um, just to lose that game 40-0 with the Cowboys, it was just I just couldn't believe that they couldn't at least score a
Yeah,
touchdown or a field goal or something.
yeah. Watching the game myself, because I actually did manage to see the game, it was just heartbreaking. It was not a great start. It was not a great start at all.
No, it wasn't. You know, I talked to people who I went with. They couldn't believe it either. Some friends that I know, they went as well, and they couldn't believe it either. It was just very. There's just no words to describe what kind of game that was. I mean, it was just everyone thought like it was gonna be a good game from the first quarter, like the first drive and everything, but then after that it just totally collapsed, and the defense couldn't do anything and their offense couldn't do anything. So you know, Cowboys are very good. I will admit that, but just to lose 40-0 is just it's just not what you want to see from a fan, as a Giant fan, and
No, no.
yeah. So um, yeah, I mean the good news is that it's only week one, so it was only the first week, so we just have to get that out of our mind. The game's over, and just look forward to the rest of the season, week two, and then see what happens after that. So hopefully they brush this off and play a better game on Sunday. So
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
yeah, so hopefully they have a better game with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley and the whole team to come out and play on Sunday against the Cardinals. So we'll see on that. Um, yeah, so we'll see. And one more news, also for Yankee fans, such as myself. Um, Reportedly, there was news that our top prospect, Jason Dominguez, who was in the major leagues for about a week, tore his UCL, and will not be back this season as well. Probably not for half of next season. We'll see how much recovery time it takes, but you know, especially since he was doing so well in the majors. He was hitting home runs, he was getting along with the team and everything. It's just all the hype with Dominguez, and all the fans wanted him to come up and everything like that. It was just it's not it's not what you want to see from a Yankee fan's point of view, or the front office point of view, or anything like that. So it was just I don't know. I don't know if you saw it or heard the news, but it just
I heard it.
yeah. I mean, hopefully he'll be back. You know, within 6 months, 7 months. I don't know, but yeah, it was just shocking to see that news, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery for next season, and he can really help us down the stretch. So we'll see. So
Yeah, it's really getting crazy. Crazy.
yeah, I know. I mean, with all this talent in sports now, and everyone's getting hurt in the rest of the season. I mean, it sucks. It does,
It is.
but you know, there's nothing we can really do about it. But you know, all you can do is just wish them a speedy recovery, and
Yeah.
you know, so not great week for New York fans in sports right now. So
Hopefully it'll get better. Just hopefully.
hopefully it'll get better. Uh, yeah. So that's the New York news right now. Islanders are coming back in hockey, so and the Rangers. So hopefully that's a better hockey season. And basketball will be back. So hopefully better sports news in New York. Uh, so we'll keep you up. I'll keep you updated on everything sports when I hear it. So thanks.
Okay. Um, Before we get into our main topic, I did want to brief you guys a little bit what's happening, of course, with the writer strike. Um, what's happening is this: we're not going into our 20th week of the writer strike. And it's obviously the longest strike, much longer than the actors strike, which is also going on. We're now on the 20th week, as I said. But the Writers Guild is actually set to meet with showrunners this Friday. Now, we're not sure what's going to be discussed, at these meetings. We don't know, but yeah, it looks like there's no stop. These strikes ending. You know, Obviously the strikes are happening for different reasons. The writers, of course, want pay equality. They want to be paid their fair wages, which they should get. And the actors are pretty much the same thing, but also the actors are also striking because of studios, new plan to use AI to scan them digitally and just place them in the backgrounds, specifically the background actors. And because of that, they would not get the days that they were promised. They would get most likely half the pay because of that. So yeah, this is a problematic. This doesn't show any steps of ending. Hopefully, both sides and both strikes can actually come to agreement very soon because we're running out of entertainment, folks. And I know that the writers and the actors really want to get back to work, but this can't happen until their demands are met. And I hope to God that the studios actually, you know, put aside their own thoughts and say, okay, let's work on this to make sure that this is you know, a mutual relationship and everyone gets what they want, except
Yeah,
for using artificial intelligence to use the background people. That's a no go. I don't want that either because you're messing with their lives.
yeah. I mean, we've talked about this. I mean, it's they've met what once or like twice, and there was really no breakthrough. I mean, it was pretty much just back and forth offers, and neither side agreed with any offers that they've put out there. So, I mean, look, the fact that they're still willing to meet is, I mean, I guess you can look at it as a positive sign, but other than that, I mean, that's the only sign that you can see. Like the fact that they're willing to meet, sure, great, but the question is like, what's going to happen in those meetings every single time we say, every single time we see, or every single time we hear that they're going to meet? I mean, this, you know, this could go on for till most of next year. I mean, we really don't know.
Yeah, I really hope this doesn't happen because a lot of these people, especially the writers and the actors, they also have families. They have people that depend on them.
No, yeah, yeah, we're running out of entertainment, of course, and all these movies are getting delayed and everything because of the strike and everything. But no, I mean, you're 100% right. These actors have families. Um, the writers have families. Directors, everything like that. They have families. They need to pay. Help. Support their family and everything. And they can't do that if they're out of work.
Yeah,
I mean, they're on the picket lines for 20 weeks, and they're losing money for those 20 weeks. I mean, they're not they're not getting paid for picketing or anything like that. So
no. That
yeah,
that that would have been interesting if they were getting paid for being picketed.
right.
No, that's not happening. But yeah, and the picketing for a good cause. So hopefully, and I hope to God the studios are actually listening to what we're saying. Please, for God's sakes, end the madness. Just just meet with them and actually come to an agreement.
I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, they have to come to an agreement. They have to come to an agreement at some point. But we're getting to the point where you know next week or in 2 weeks, the primetime shows are supposed to start. You know, with all these shows on CBS, NBC, ABC, all these shows are supposed to, technically start in like 2 weeks,
Ugh,
3 weeks. So, I mean, for them to not make any headway at all, I mean, it's just
I know.
you're going to get a lot of restless and angry fans and everything like that. So, we just really hope they can come to an agreement very, very soon.
Yeah. Anyway, aside from that, let's get to the main topic, which is something we really don't really discuss. We've discussed this a little bit, but we're going to have a full discussion about it, and that is Star Wars games. That's right. The Star Wars games have actually had a recent resurgence because they were taking new ideas and just moving away from the Skywalker family
Hmm.
to create new characters. And of course, the first one was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Yes, this was the big game when it was released on PS4, which launched a sequel, Jedi Survivor, exclusively on PS5. Now, there have been rumors of actually, making a PS4 version, but those are just rumors. I cannot confirm or deny that. So far, it's only exclusively on PS5, and I have not yet played it. I know what you're thinking. Get a PS5. You know how expensive they are? Just waiting for an inexpensive price. Not cheap, inexpensive.
Well, what would you consider inexpensive for all the people out there? For them wanting to know what
Uh, where's it currently at? What was it, $700, $500?
something like that. Yeah.
Okay, anyways, this is as high as it can go. 300. Yeah, I'm going to be waiting a long time for that. I know that.
That's gonna be a little tough.
All right, maybe 400. That's it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm going to be waiting a long time before the price goes down again. But what we noticed in the Star Wars games is that, like we said, they're expanding the universe. They're introducing new characters, especially in between certain chapters. Mostly, Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor takes place in between episodes 3 and 4.
Hmm.
Yeah. because we haven't gotten to some of the big star stuff yet, like the Death Star and all that. But they're very engaging games.
No, yeah, they really are. Fallen Order was, you know, I played that numerous times and I still can't get enough of it. They did a really great job on that.
Yeah,
Uh, Jedi Survivor, I'm still working on. I will get to it, hopefully, probably tonight or tomorrow.
yeah,
Um, but you know, these game and they're making one. I hear they're making one more. To close out the trilogy. I think.
yeah,
Whether there's more games to come, I don't know, but I think they're pretty much ending the trilogy after the next game. But Jedi Survivor got a lot of great ratings. I hear it's better than the first one, but I will know until I play it myself. But yeah, I mean, they did a really great job. Um, making this game, this trilogy. Um, and I really like the actor who plays Cal.
yeah.
Uh, he's really cool. And for all of you that don't know, he did play a version of the Joker in Gotham, the TV series. So,
That's right. That's right. He did.
um, so he's a great actor. And yeah, I mean, he did a really great job. You know, they all did. So,
Yeah,
really looking forward to see how they end the trilogy. But
yeah. I'm very excited to see where this goes. When I do get Jedi Survivor, I'm definitely gonna play it. I'm gonna play the hell out of it because I have been hearing great things about it, and yeah, so I'm very excited to see where that leads. They've also been, I think, developing another Star Wars game. I forget what it was called, but it's actually an open world one, if I remember correctly.
yeah, they are. I forget the name too. Just hang with me for a second.
Yeah,
But it's I think they released a trailer for it, right? Didn't they?
they did. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, yeah. It's escaping me right now. But I mean, in general, I mean the Star Wars games do. Um, they what can I? What's the word I'm looking for? They're very popular.
yeah,
Um, with Star Wars Battlefront, that they've had. Um, and with these Fallen Order trilogy and everything. I mean, um, they're just very popular. And I really enjoy what they did. Oh, it was Star Wars Outlaws.
that was it. Star
That's
Wars
it.
Outlaws. Yeah,
Star Wars Outlaws. Um, yeah, but yeah, for this Star Wars Outlaws game, if you haven't seen the trailer, I would suggest you check it out. It's actually pretty interesting. Um, from what I've seen from the trailer, they are shying away from the Jedi point of this game.
yeah,
Um, it is an open world game, but yeah, from what I've seen, it takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So, I'm actually pretty interested to see how you know what the story is for that game.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, no. I was agreeing with you. That's very exciting.
Yeah, and it's set to be released in 2024. So, uh, hopefully, hopefully that game is as good as the other ones. So,
Yeah, and it's interesting that it's a video game that actually takes place in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
hmm
Actually reminds me of another video game that has been long since forgotten, and this was released in 1996 on Nintendo 64. Of course, I am talking about Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. And this was a big event in the 90s because this game came out at a point where You know, it was before the Star Wars trilogy special edition movies came out in theaters, the re-releases. Those infamous ones where they had scenes where it didn't quite make sense. Didn't really add to the story. Yeah. So what they did to promote the special edition trilogy being re-released in theaters, as well as the prequel films, Lucasfilm decided to make a multimedia event. What that means is they were doing promotion for a movie without a movie. Shadows of the Empire had a book, a novel, a video game, a comic book miniseries, a toy line, and an actual score, a musical score for a film that never happened. Because they wanted to create a buzz about Star Wars yet again because of the special edition trilogy and the prequels. And this was released in 1996, a year before the special edition trilogy actually came out in theaters. What was interesting about this was Shadows of the Empire was actually released on a new console, Nintendo 64. And it actually has a pretty good fan base. It was met with mixed reviews when it was first released in late '96, but it's also become a cult following. The story actually takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. In the story, Luke and Leia are trying to find Boba Fett to you know, to get Han Solo back. But now there's a contract on Luke Skywalker. There's actually two contracts. One is to capture him alive. One is to kill him. And and mostly the action involves a new syndicate called Black Sun. What's interesting about this game is that Boba Fett does take a big role into the game. But you're mostly played as a different character. You can play as the leads. You play by a character named Dash Rendar, who was another smuggler piloting a starship called Outrider. Cool name, right? So, with this resurgence of Star Wars games, I think it's about time we actually got a remake of Shadows of the Empire. Just think of it if you will. If you took the same mechanics that made Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor so successful and put that into Shadows of the Empire, I think you have a better game.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree on that.
Yeah, I would admit that in certain parts you get to play as Luke or Leia or Chewie, even Lando, and of course Dash Rendar, but in only certain parts. And I think at this point, at this time around, you should stick closer to the book if you're doing an adaptation of this. But with today's technology, I think the game would be exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said. I mean, with um, just follow follow the events in the book, which so when they make these movies or games or anything like that, some follow the book, but some don't. I mean, but I totally agree. If they just follow the book and stick with the events of the book, you know, it's as good as you say it is, then it's it'll turn out to be a very very great game with the technology that we have now.
Yeah. And what happens after you finish the game? You can actually have the option of playing the original Nintendo 64 as as a side game. So fans can actually relive the childhood by playing the game that they know.
You mean if they recreated it now, they could have the option?
Well, here's the thing: they would actually release a disc where you had both versions, the remake and the original.
Got it.
Now you can have it is this: when you play the remake and you finish all the levels,
Hmm.
and at the end you can actually have the option of concluding the story fully or play the original version. You have to work out some sort of deal, especially with Nintendo, because it's under the Nintendo brand. But I think they could do it.
Oh no, absolutely. I think that can definitely work. But that would actually be that would be pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the graphics from. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on.
Give us a minute here, folks. He's trying to pull stuff up.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, folks. Just
Um, so while he's looking stuff up, while he's pulling up that thing, um, there's also another game that, or two games that I really enjoyed playing, which was Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, which a lot of you fans out there may have played or not. For people who don't know, it's a pretty awesome game.
yeah, that was a good one. That was a very
Yeah. Um, Pretty much just a general overview for people who don't know. It pretty much just follows. Oh, he's got it up.
yeah,
um, so we'll just take a minute and we'll watch this.
yeah. See the mechanics. This is the Nintendo 64 version. Now, if they had if they remade this game now, those would become much more sharper, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
I remember this one now.
yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. I remember flying all that. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah,
That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, with the technology that it is now, you could get better graphics of it and get a better um that's really cool.
yeah. Makes you want to replay the game, doesn't it?
Exactly, a little bit.
Yeah, I think you can also follow even the mechanics of Battlefront 2, if you think about it, because there are similar similarities here, but obviously with Battlefront 2, when you're flying the starships, they're smoother and all that. Of course, the designs at this point, hadn't figured out all the mechanics, but in 1996, that was pretty damn looking good.
No, that would, I mean, imagine like if they remade it now. Like imagine what it would be like now. If they redid it and all the graphics and everything. And I don't know, I definitely want to play it.
Yeah, uh, yeah, you definitely get voice actors, obviously, to play the parts and all that. But each stage, I think you could play as Luke and Leia and Dash Randor, because in the Nintendo 64 version and obviously the PC version of Shadows of the Empire, you only got to play as Dash. That was about it. You couldn't play as the core characters.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, no, but that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty awesome. But we'll go back to that in a minute. But what I was just talking about a little bit was the Force Unleashed.
yeah,
They released games 1 and 2. Just a pretty much an overview of it. It just pretty much follows Darth Vader having an apprentice, uh, and Darth Vader gives him tasks to do, but then as the game goes on, he kind of doesn't follow through with those orders. He kind of I don't want to give too much away if someone who doesn't play it or but um, but pretty much he just doesn't agree with Darth Vader's orders anymore
Uh,
as the game goes on. So um, I thought those games were very well done, and given the story and everything. So that would be probably one of my favorite Star Wars games.
I agree, and they did talk about a third one, but that got canceled, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they talked about making a third one. I think that was like a couple of years ago. It got canceled. So
Yeah. Uh, I guess we could have been. I think guess we're left with what could have been, right?
I mean, there's a lot of what we always think about what could have been. You know.
Yeah, and another thing is if they do, Shadows of the Empire remake, which I'm not suggesting they should do, they can only do it. They should also consider doing also the Thrawn trilogy. Can you imagine, Luke, Han, and Leia versus Thrawn?
That would um that would be a pretty interesting battle.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
again, we can't make the decision for them.
no, we can't. No, we can't. I mean, as most of you know, you can see Thrawn on Ahsoka, who made his live action debut uh, on that show, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, to see if to see Han, Luke, and Leia, all three of them go up against him, they'd be in for quite a battle, quite a quite a ride.
Yeah, I think that would be obviously towards the obviously after the events of Return of the
Yeah,
Jedi and all that.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, or if they feel really ambitious, even though this is not really canon because of the sequel trilogy, they could do Dark Empire trilogy as a series of video games where Luke is going against Palpatine.
Ooh, I like that one.
We didn't really get obviously, but
Okay, well, if he, just here's a question for you. I mean, if there was one Star Wars game that you could choose that they didn't make, like what would be a game that you would want to make for Star Wars that they haven't made yet? Like, what would be your dream Star Wars game?
oh, that is a tough one. Definitely want to have something during the events of Empire Strikes Back.
Hmm.
Um, I would probably do like a chase game. Like some of the survivors of Hoth didn't quite make it to the the rendezvous point.
Hmm.
Got diverted along the way, and the Empire is suddenly chasing them, and they're finding out, hearing thought sounds of another Death Star. So now it's not just because it become a chase film; it's become a seeking, game. There's way to figure, okay, if this is true or not, and if
Hmm.
it's true, where are they building it? Pretty much take the best elements of Rogue One,
Hmm.
but make sure that some of these guys actually survive this time around. I wouldn't. I don't have all the specifics yet because I'm just thinking about it in my head. But it's something like that. Is I'm really sick of oh, this takes place in between 3 and 4 or 5 and 6. We don't see anything in 5 during those events. We don't see anything.
No, we don't. Um, but I mean, I would be, interested in playing that game.
Yeah,
'Cause yeah, 'cause you keep talking about you wanting to get something that takes place in between five. So,
yeah, because you want to see the rebellion at their lowest. They're desperate.
hmm
Because the empire's coming at them, much harder. They're getting much bolder.
exactly.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah, no, that would be pretty cool. That'd be interesting.
But I don't know what they're gonna do. But they're very smart people. They're very smart people in Lucasfilm, especially in Lucasfilm games. They'll figure it out.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to report on was that the director of EA Games has left. Um, I mean, it was a shocking decision. I mean,
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, of course, we're talking about the director of the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and, of course, Jedi Survivor.
yeah.
Uh, Apparently, he left, I think it was a mutual decision, but he wanted to do other things.
Hmm. Yeah, there was a, I think there was a statement on it. I gotta
Yeah.
pull it up.
Here it is. It's right here. After careful thought and consideration, Stig, I'm very sorry, I'm not going to really pronounce his last name, has decided to leave Respawn to pursue other adventures, and we wish him the best of luck.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that was a shocking decision for them. I see something in there. Will there be a Star Wars Jedi Survivor sequel?
Well, they have been talking about doing this in trilogy, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean you can only hope that even though that he's left, they'll still continue on doing that final game, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's not much to report on it, but it's it's a big loss for them.
Yeah.
So
But
um,
they do have veterans there that will take over, and it's not like when we had Uncharted 4, the
mhm.
original creative team from the first three games, had left, and the new owners stepped up, and they did a pretty damn good job, with Uncharted 4.
Yeah,
So I'm not worried.
yeah, I'm not worried either. But yeah, I mean, I just thought that when I saw that, I just thought it's pretty shocking. But hopefully this doesn't interfere with them doing the final game of the series. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Before we end, we'd like to hear from you guys. What do you think about the idea of Lucasfilm Games remaking Shadows of the Empire? Yay or nay?
Yes, we want to hear your opinions on that. We also want to hear your opinions on everything that we talked about tonight.
Yeah.
Um, comment on the Aaron Rodgers news. Um, do you think, the Jets will get another quarterback? Do you think they'll trade for one? Do you think they'll sign one? Um, do you think they should stay with Zach Wilson? Um, a lot of options there. So just give us your thoughts on that. And also the Giants. Do you think they can come back from their week 1 loss? See what happens there, hopefully.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the Star Wars games, like my partner here said, do you think about the Shadow Empire?
Yeah. Because we want to hear from you guys.
Yes, yeah, I know you like hearing us talk, but we want to hear from you guys too.
Yeah.
So we want to hear all your comments, concerns, um, you know, everything that we talk about. We just want to hear from you, and we'll talk about it on the show. So just please give us your comments.
Okay, I think that's it for us for tonight.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, once again, I'm Ian Miller,
I'm Andrew Smith.
and this has been Media Talk with Nolan Smith. Have a good night, folks.
Good night, guys. Please follow us on our Instagram channel as well, on our Instagram page, Media
Absolutely.
Talk with Millard Smith on Instagram. So,
You stay classy.
good night, guys.
If you'd like to follow us on YouTube, Just hit that like button and subscribe.